Okay, let me adjust this camera a little bit. I'm sorry about the lighting. Doing the best I can with that here. I'm trying to make sure I can get my feet and my hands into this. And it's been quite an adventure for me to figure this out. I'm used to doing it from the school mode. It was a lot easier. Sorry for my setup. It's not ideal, but it's just hopefully good enough. So we're going to go through the routine. It's going to start with seated, the back of your mat. I'm going to switch, sometimes facing you, sometimes sideways, depending on what we're doing. And I'm using my little cheat sheet. So it's available on that Google Classroom. But hopefully this video will be just what you need to help you kind of internalize this routine. So we're working on our 2022 routine and just the warm-up portion, which I've broken up into 3 phases to kind of just chunk it. So the first phase is on the ground. We do a few movements to warm up the spine. Then we come up into our standing and we do a few movements there. That's phase 2. And then phase 3 is we work up into our sun salutations. So a kind of a way to think about it. So phase 1, we're on the ground. We're in seated cross-legged position. This is how we'd start the class. And take a moment and just arrive. Relax, get comfortable, and then find a nice posture. And we begin. We come into our hands together to prayer, to the heart center. And if you'd like, you could speak to setting an intention. You could speak to opening the heart, however you like to do that. But I'm going to use this position just to kind of move up the chakras and just to start to come into a gentle back bend. And I'm going to use that inhale, gentle stretch. And then as I exhale, I'm just going to do a little gentle side to side. However you like to do that. To me, I like the supported side bend at the beginning here. So letting the hand come down. And just kind of getting that spine gently warmed up a few times. Coming back, breathing in. And as you exhale, the hands come down. Then we'll come into a twist. We're going to breathe in. And as I exhale, I'm going to let my right arm sweep back, my left open up, and I'm going to look back over the right, and then I'm going to look over the left. I'm going to inhale back up. And as I exhale, I twist the other side. I can't quite open it. So open it left, looking back, and then looking out, and inhaling back up. And then as you exhale, hands come back down. And then from here, we're going to try to roll into our child's pose. So for me, I have to do it. I can't roll across my knees. So I just reposition and I come into our child's pose of Alasana. And you can cue the knees a little bit open if you like, the feet together. And you come down into that child's pose. And then from here, we repeat that side stretch. So I'm going to walk my hands over to the left, stretching to the right side of the body. And I'm going to come back in the middle. And then I'm going to stretch it the other way. So that little side bend once again. Come back in the middle, inhale a little length. So a gentle back bend. And then as you exhale, you start to walk the hands back. And you curl up a little bit of the spine. You're going to come into your Garland Pose. So you're going to come into a deep squat. You have to bring the feet a little bit wide. I'm going to be flexed over in my arms. I'm going to try to open my palms up. A basic Garland. And there might be some that can go a little deeper. Bring the arms back. Maybe a bind. I'm just going to find a gentle one. Find a couple breaths. Trying to keep the feet planted, opening the hips. And from that Garland pose, we're going to come into our tabletop position. So we're going to walk hands forward and we'll do our dancing lion. We'll just work around a few times in circles, working through the hips and the wrists, and shoulders a bit. Then we'll go the other way. So go around both directions a few times. Your dancing lion is a great name. And then from the big lion, the big cat, the lion, we come into the little cat and the cow. So then you come into your inhale and your length, little back bend into that cow, exhaling, flexion to the spine, the cat back, arch it. Breathe in, find the length. Breathe out. So a few cat cows, maybe three or four is always a good one. And then from the cats and the cows, we come into the bird dog. So for the bird dog, we're going to bring our right leg back and our left arm out. And I'm going to have my fingers forward, my thumbs up. I'm going to let that right hip settle in place. So I want to square the hip, lift that right leg just a little bit, just to keep it parallel. Feel that in the right glute. And you're going to just hold that or do some variation if you like. You could do the elbow to knee crunch, where you get a little flexion in the back. Inhale the length. Exhale, you could do that however you like it, and balance it out the other side. That bird dog. This side, just holding it, breathing. Maybe add a little something to it if you'd like to do that. Push it out. And then a good way to remember this is you're coming from the bird dog now into the down dog. So you come back to your tabletop, curl your toes under, and you lift it up. And that's the end of phase one. That's the ground warm-up. So now you're starting to come up to standing. I'm going to walk my dog out a few times. And then I'm going to walk my feet forward. Maybe use your tippy toes. Maybe for me, I come up with my fingertips. And then when they get up close, give them a few moments to hang, soft fold. They like clasp their elbows. They can start to find that gentle back and forth a few times. Let that feel good. And then to make our transition from the ground to standing, we just slowly roll up the spine. And as you first come up, it's usually nice to have a nice little inhale, a little length. And then as you exhale, the hands can come right down to the heart and then down to the sides. Samasthiti. And then you take a moment. Now we're in phase two. In phase two, we're going to repeat the spinal warm-up, working the side stretches, working the back bends. So we're going to come and we're going to do it in three parts. So part one, I'm going to bring the hands back up to Tadasana, just be a little more engaged. I'm going to inhale a little stretch. And then as I exhale, just a gentle back and forth a few times, a little side, a little wavy back and forth. Kind of like in the beginning. Remember in the beginning we were sitting down, we could do that, gentle. Come back, breathe in. And then as I exhale, I'm going to release the hands down. Now, second time around, just get a little message. What does it say? Your connection's unstable. What? That's some bullshit.